Depending on the journey that the organization is in, you can say that the learning and development programs would be divided into three parts. The first part would be to develop inclusive leadership competencies. It is very important that the organization sees their leaders as driving the leadership. It is very important that the organization sees their leadership driving the inclusion agenda. Inclusive leadership competencies include being transparent, being curious, being empathetic, being vulnerable, and all of these need to be role modeled. So that is one area that organizations are looking at. The second space that organizations are focusing on is building the managerial capacity to be inclusive along the employee life cycle. So, right from conducting inclusive interviews, asking the right questions, conducting team meetings where everybody feels heard and valued and their contribution is taken into consideration, where every team member, irrespective of their gender, age, sexuality, life stage, or any other difference, is valued. And lastly, the underrepresented communities themselves, be it women, be it people with disabilities, be it the LGBTQ community, and globally it could be different races and ethnicities. They all face their own challenges, their own lack of confidence, their own baggages. So they also need confidence building, they need upskilling, they need the confidence to overcome hesitation to speak up. So these are some of the areas that organizations are looking at when it comes to building capability. Leadership needs to look at diversity, equity, and inclusion not as a separate agenda but as a part of their business strategy. Just like at one point of time, a performance appraisal used to be an HR process, but now today it is seen as a very critical business process. When you do performance appraisals right, you drive productivity, you drive performance, and that impacts business directly. Similarly, when you dovetail diversity, equity, and inclusion in your business strategy, you impact creativity, innovation, you understand your marketplace better, your consumer better, your distributors better, your customer better. And therefore, first and foremost, leaders need to include it into their business strategy. That's first. The second is to be a role model when it comes to demonstrating the inclusive behaviors, because whether we like it or not, a leader, any leader, is always being observed, is always being followed, is always being emulated, and people look up to the leaders and they want to be like leaders. So if a leader is demonstrating all the right inclusive behaviors, then the entire culture of the organization changes accordingly. So these are a couple of roles that leaders can play when it comes to driving an inclusive workforce. And yeah, most importantly, giving teeth to people who are on the ground actually driving inclusion. So whether it is people managers, whether it is people who are hiring diverse workforce, nurturing diverse workforce, the ERGs, supporting them and sponsoring them.